Hey everybody, this should be a pretty fun video. I like baby names. If you don't like baby names, you can just skip over this one, but I like them. Alice is next to me, so if you hear munching noises, that's what it is. This video is baby names that we will never use for one reason or another. I did make a favorite baby names video about halfway through my pregnancy. Those were names that I liked at the time. Definitely just my personal list. Mike and I have very different styles. Mike likes pretty traditional names, and I like things that are a little bit different. We have a joint list of sort of our compromise names that is secret. We aren't going to share those until they get eliminated. So these names are ones that we have talked about, but for the criteria I will also talk about, they've been crossed off. They're great names, so I want to put them out there. I would love to hear other people use them. So a little bit of story about naming Alice. We actually named her something else first. We didn't know the sex of the baby, so when Alice was born, we found out she was a girl. We had our short list of names, and Alice wasn't one that we had talked much about. It was something that Mike had suggested. There were some other names that I was really interested in that were very similar. We had just decided that when the baby was born, we were going to kind of like get a feel for who they were as a person and pick a name. So right away when Alice was born, within the first 20 minutes or so, Mike pulled out our list and pointed to the name Alice. That's what struck him first. And I was still pretty iffy on it because, like I said, it wasn't a name that we had talked much about at all. And it was his choice to begin with. So as time went on, I think on like the second or third day, we had settled on a different name. And we haven't shared that with anyone except our two mothers who were there at the time. So I'm not going to share exactly what that was, but we settled on this name. We looked at the baby and we said it, and we were like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. So we went and we told our moms, and they both hated it. They both just did not react at all. They didn't even say like, oh, that's nice or anything. They were just like, silence. So we're like, well, that didn't go over well. So we went and saw Alice again and started thinking, okay, maybe that's not it. That we don't want to have a name that everybody is going to hate. So we went back again to the name that Mike had felt really strongly about, and he still felt pretty strongly about it. And so I just decided to go for it too. I thought that it would be really good for Mike to sort of have that bond with her of choosing her name and having the story about that. That's what he was struck with right away. So anyway, so we named Alice Alice, obviously. That crossed off a few other names that were on our list. I really, really love the name Iris. That's what I was really pushing for. And Alice and Iris are way too close, so we're obviously not going to have a second child named Iris and Alice. That's crazy. Also, I really like the name Elise, but same thing. And I also really like the name Ellis, E-L-L-I-S, for a boy. But again, that would just be stupid, too confusing. So that crosses off those three names that I liked. My number one girl's name for years and years and years was Mila. That was the name that, if one day I have a daughter, that'll be the name that'll be what I name her. Mila was it. And through almost the entire pregnancy, we had said, if we have a girl, her name will be Mila. And we were just both kind of set on that. We didn't have a boy's name really figured out, but we were pretty set on Mila. But towards the end of the pregnancy, Mike decided that he didn't really like Mila anymore. And to be honest, I feel like because we had talked about it so much and it had been in my mind for so long, I wasn't all that excited about it anymore either. So that one got shelved. Since then, someone I used to be very close with, a friend that I'm still in contact with, named her daughter Mila, and I feel like it's just, we're not going to use it for all those reasons. So Mila's also off the list, but I love it still. So Mike's name obviously is Michael, and I really like the name Micah for a boy, but having a Michael and a Micah would just be stupid again, in my opinion. I know, all these names, people might not have the same hang-ups that I do about them, so just because I'm eliminating them for these reasons doesn't mean that they necessarily should be. Anyway, so Micah's also off the list. We both also really like the name Francis for either a boy or a girl, but Mike's niece's middle name is Francis, and so he feels that that, you know, precludes us from using it. So Francis also off the list. Our last names start with R. I actually don't like a whole lot of names that end in R, but there are just a few that I think are kind of special. But because our last names start with R, I just don't like that, you know, sort of first name running into the last name kind of thing. So that crosses off Oscar, Javier, River, and Asher. Sort of along the same lines, Mike growing up, you know, his name was Michael and then something with an R, and he always felt like that was really difficult to say, that it was hard for him to go from the L sound to the R sound. So I tend to like a lot of names that end in an L sound, Coral probably being my most favorite of those, but he thinks that doesn't feel good to him, so we probably will not use anything that ends in an L like that. There is one more very classic sort of short boy's name that we both like, that just about everybody likes, I think, but we can't use it because in combination with the last name the baby would have, it is the name of a famous person, and I just don't want that kind of connection. It'd be the kind of name where people, it's not necessarily a negative connotation, but people would chuckle every time they heard it, and I just don't want to do that to my kid. So I don't want to give away what it is because I feel like that might give away our name, but there is yet another one to cross off. I want to make this not exactly a tag video, but I'd really like people to do video responses with names that you love that you can't use for one reason or another, because I just love hearing about names. So if you're game, give it a try and leave me a video response. Thanks for watching. Who's freaking out over here? Done with lunch, I guess, huh? You're gonna escape?